Also, I just wanted to let you guys know, like, BT dubs, do not be worried about me because I thought you maybe looked a little bit worried, but, like, I'm so fine with the fact that Ray is coming tonight. I mean, like, even if he is coming, I don't know if he's coming. Like, I am ready to take this party by storm. Like, I am woman, hear me roar. You know what I mean? Like, I may be deflowered, but I am not devalued.
Do you miss your hymen?
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Girls. We're just two boys watching HBO's Girls. We're your hosts. I'm Joe Welke.
I'm Vance.
And welcome back, everybody. We are into season 2 now. We're into the deuce, baby.
Season 2, can you believe it?
Oh, the game is changed.
This is the big one. This is a huge episode.
This is a big ol' episode.
I know. I hope we can live up to it.
Big episode. All right, here's the stats. Episode number 11 overall. First one of the second season. Title, It's About Time, directed by Lena Dunham, written by Lena Dunham and Jenny Connor. The original air date was January 13th, 2013. 0.866 million viewers. When does this show get popular? Is this popular?
It's well known. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
I thought it was like big. I thought it was bigger than this.
Yeah, I did too.
I guess people just don't have HBO.
Like, these numbers still seem low even for 2013.
Yeah, they seem real low.
Huh.
How is it this like sensation that swept the nation?
You can say the show Girls to
celebration.
anyone. You can mention the show Girls to like almost anyone and they'll be like, oh yeah, I heard of that.
Yeah.
Like, is it just something that people heard of and no one watched? Like us?
I don't know. I feel like there was like a fuckload of articles written about it.
Yeah.
Are we wrong in doing this podcast?
Are we the only people watching this show? No, I mean, it's
crazy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean...
So it's only broke 1 million once, according to this.
Twice.
The pilot, was it the...
It was not the pilot. It was the last episode of the first season called She Did. That is just 1 million exactly.
Okay, and then it was the one...
And then the 8th episode is 1.09 million.
Right, yeah.
But we're back in the 8s, baby. Back in the 8s.
All right, yeah. Build
The
it back
great
up.
8s. What are your initial thoughts on this episode? I think we kind of did it. It's a big episode.
I like this episode. This episode has a lot of moving pieces in it.
Mm-hmm. Get some closure on some stuff.
Some
not closure on others.
And the introduction of some new stuff.
Yeah, lots of new stuff.
Yeah. So
yeah,
this is. Yeah, I don't know. What do you want to go with first? Should we go with what we left off with, which is Jessa?
Do a quick recap of season 1.
A little recap, all right.
Yeah, a small little recap.
And then we'll
okay, so Jessa got married to Chris O'Dowd, a.k.a. Thomas John, in the last episode of season 1. Shoshanna banged Ray.
Yep,
Marnie was making out with Thad, a.k.a. Bobby Moynihan, after the wedding, and Adam was screaming at Hannah in the street, got hit by a car, and then Hannah wandered around Coney Island without a purse. Adam screamed that she's not his family.
Yeah, she's a monster.
So
as the ambulance takes him away, and we end with Hannah on the beach eating a slice of wedding cake.
Yep.
As the sun comes up.
And we pick up with, you see a nice hairy leg. First scene. And you see a nice hairy leg. It's panning up. Then you see a nice doughy leg. And it's panning up. And you're like, oh, who are these two people in bed together? But it's Elijah and Hannah spooning.
Yes, it is.
Elijah has officially moved in with Hannah. Adam does not live with her. That was the big yell.
That was a big leftover from last season. But the interesting thing about this opening shot, it's the same way we were introduced to Marnie and Hannah in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember the first shot of the pilot, or one of the early shots of the pilot, we see Hannah in bed with Marnie, and I'm like, oh, are they couple or whatever. And then Charlie pops in. It's like, what are you doing? Whatever. So this
I hope that every first episode of every season starts out like this.
Her, yeah,
just like a different legs that pan up to different people.
She just gets new roommates in a new situation. And I wonder if it's going to end up the way it did, because at the end of the first season, Marnie has moved out, and she's gotten frustrated with Hannah's antics.
Yes.
So yeah, it's interesting that they chose to do that.
You see Andrew Rannells spooning her.
Yeah.
How do we? You want to just like do?
Let's pick up on Jessa real quick, just because.
Not a lot of Jessa in this episode. Not a lot
of Jessa. I
think that's why I like this episode.
I was really curious as the episode went on. I was like, are we not even going to address the surprise wedding from last
no one
episode?
even mentions Jessa in this
No
episode.
one mentioned Jessa. Not even a conversation piece of that. But we see Jessa later in the episode, and it's unrelated to anything else. And it's her coming back from what we must presume is their honeymoon in the Bahamas or something, because she has or Jamaica or something. She has her hair like cornrows and
awful.
And what's her husband's name?
Thomas John.
Thomas John is
Chris O'Dowd.
Just being. I guess he came from Mexico because they were speaking. He was
like,
pretending that they were Spanish.
We don't know,
and
no hablo, and then they just steal a cab from everybody at the airport. I guess
stealing a cab in a way that is such staged extras.
Yeah, right.
It's like no one's just like waiting there for like the cab like that. But
no.
And then they get in the cab, and it's just like they look, as annoying as they are, they look genuinely happy together.
Yeah.
And she gets in the cab, and she's like tells the cab driver, "Oh, we're going to," and then she just starts breaking up and laughing, and like she's like, "I don't even know
where you live,"
and I'm like,
and then the cab just starts driving.
They start making out. It's whatever.
Yeah.
She should know where he lives.
There's that.
Yeah, but whatever. I get the point that they're making.
Yeah.
So that's really all we see.
For Jessa.
Yeah, that's all we see of Jessa.
Thank God.
That means we're going to see more of her and Crystal Dowd. Like, Crystal Dowd's in it. He's in it for, unless they do what they did with the babysitting job and just like all of a sudden she's just divorced.
Jeff and Catherine Hahn.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Yeah. I guess so.
I mean,
everybody could come back.
Everybody keeps popping up in the show.
Catherine Hahn could come back.
I never would have expected Elijah to be a main player now.
Oh, now, yeah, he's a
main player.
Yeah, he's in them.
I feel like I should make a separate column for his story.
Yeah.
In case the way that I take notes is I have HMSJ, and then I have columns for each of the girls, and then I write down what their story is for the episode. But there's a lot of more characters in this, and like some of them don't fit into categories. So like Elijah just is having his own side quest. So I was like, I don't feel right putting him under Hannah's story.
Yeah,
because he's having his own story.
Yeah, and I take notes willy nilly. My page is a mess, and I have to find my way through it. So I appreciate you keeping it a little bit in order,
little structure.
Yeah.
All right, you want to jump over to Shoshanna?
Sure, let's jump over to Shoshanna.
The shining superstar of the show.
Yeah, so after we get that scene with Hannah in the bed and like her and Elijah talking, we end up cutting to Shoshanna in her apartment, and she's in her bedroom and she's saging.
Yeah, she's burning sage.
And just like talking and then saying like, and what is she like?
She's basically saying like, I want good energy, and I want to cleanse this room of the bad energy, and I want to ruin Ray's life.
Yeah, and ruin Ray's life, and you're just like, what went down?
Yeah,
like after that, like we don't know how much time has passed yet.
Yeah,
because Elijah, when he's talking to Hannah, he talks about like, I'm gonna get a bed because he hasn't even gotten a bed yet.
Well, like, I'm guessing it's a month because Elijah needed a month or Hannah had a month to move in Elijah. Remember?
Yeah, she had a month.
Marnie
had a month of rent, but like he
yeah.
could have moved in like that week or 2 weeks. Yeah, no time frame really.
I'm gonna guess. Oh, on Wikipedia it says several weeks after the events of the previous season's finale. All right, so it's several weeks.
I would give it a couple weeks. I'll give it a couple weeks. All right.
You know, Wikipedia is a great source of information.
I edited that while you were talking.
While I was talking, trying to figure it out. Was it a month? Marnie said a month.
Like several weeks.
So yeah, Shoshanna's burning sage. Why am I saying sage? Sage. Because she wants to get all the bad energy out of her room because Ray took her virginity. And then
he did whatever happened after that, where you have to start burning sage. I don't know,
right? What the fuck could have happened?
What did he do?
So then Hannah and Elijah are having a party. Shoshanna is the first person to show up. Did I miss something?
No.
Yeah, she's the first person to show up. She's kind of awkward.
She comes in hot.
She comes in real hot. She looks way too dressed up. Her hair is like in some kind of like flapper thing.
Well, she's got like this very European look to her, like a dated European look. It's like I don't not enough fashion.
Yeah, I don't know
fashion for it, but it looks like she doesn't look like. It's kind of like I don't know. It's like that old dress style. Like yeah. But I wasn't sure what kind of party they were planning.
Me neither, because they were talking about having a theme party.
And Hannah's dressed in like an outfit where it's like
her dress is
awful. And Elijah just looks like he's just dressed up like normal.
He's got a button down jeans.
Yeah, so it's like I'm not sure if it was supposed to be something or if this is just fashion choices that he went with. Mm-hmm. But she comes in.
She's rambling.
Just rambling. And I realized like Shoshanna must be super hard to write for because you have to write so much. And also you can't have too much of her if she's going to do that. Yeah. Like, and she doesn't do that every scene she's in, but you're definitely going to get one or two of those when she's in the scene. Yeah. And she's going in and she's rambling about like, oh, it's fine. I'm happy to be here. This place looks great. I'm fine that Ray's going to be here. If Ray's going to be here, I don't care. I'm fine. I'll deal with it.
I don't care that he took my virginity. Yeah. I'm deflowered, but I'm not depressed or something. Devalued, yes.
Deflowered, but not devalued.
Yeah. And then Elijah just kind of looks at her and is like, do you feel like you're missing your hymen? And she's like, I wouldn't say that I am missing it, but it definitely feels like something is not there and it's not right or something.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, she just comes in full energy. And what I appreciated was that she was the first one there.
Mm-hmm. Like, that's very on brand for her.
No, but like it's on brand for her, but it's also weird that she is even invited to this thing, the way the story is going.
Yeah, because she's not really friends with anybody.
Yeah, but like she's the first one there. Like, yeah, I like it. It kind of says her story might have a little more, she might be a little more part of this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's trying to convince everybody that she's not going to be awkward around Ray. Mm-hmm. And then the next time you see her, Ray's next to her, and she's the most awkward human being alive.
It's a great moment. What did she say? Do you remember what she said? Like, okay, so he's like
Ray
eating
like,
hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah, he's like eating some kind of snack that is on a tray next to her, and he goes, "Hey, how's it going?" or "Nice to see you," or something. Mm-hmm. And she just goes, "Oh, hello," and then a pause. "Goodbye." And then she just turns around, takes no steps away from him. She just turns her back on him, and he's just left there eating whatever fucking cheese pretzel.
Yeah, he's just standing there. And I was like, oh, she's not even going to walk away. No. She's just going to turn around.
She just turned around. She made it awkward for him.
Oh, my God. Yeah,
that's like a power move.
Yeah, he was just like, oh,
because she's like, goodbye. I'm not leaving. You're leaving.
Yeah. And it was just so funny because like at this point, we still don't know what has happened between them.
Yeah,
the last thing we saw, he was taking her virginity. Other than that, we have no concept.
Taking her virginity, being very smooth about it, too. Like, this is a lot of power for me to teach you all this stuff. And I'm the man for the job.
Yeah.
You're going to be scared when I fuck
like,
you.
Yeah, we don't
because I'm a man and I know how to do things. He might as well.
Your favorite line.
That. When is he coming back?
He's never coming back.
Fuck.
He's never coming back.
Why couldn't Hannah have moved in with him? That would have been awesome.
That would be a whole different show. So anyway, I think later we just see Shoshanna and she's in the bedroom trying to look for a coat.
Well, before that, she's singing karaoke. Okay. She's singing Bruno Mars' "Beautiful Girls," and it's mad, sad, and awkward.
It is so weird. No one else is listening. I don't even like. No one. It seems like this is the first time we see the karaoke, so we're not even sure other people are planning to do karaoke, and she's singing it like half-heartedly. Beautiful girl. Just looking around, and it's very sad. It's very sad and depressing.
So then she's in the bedroom.
Looking for something. Looking for a coat. I think she's planning to leave. It's like all the coats are in the bed. Yeah. And Ray comes in, you know?
Yeah.
like a stalker in a horror movie creeping in on the back door.
Yeah, the door is open. Ray comes in, closes the door behind him.
Yeah.
Because shit's about to go down.
Yeah.
You're going to get some confession. There needs to be some private talk going on so we can finally figure out what happened between these two.
And it seems like she's like, it's fine if you don't want to date me. It's fine. I don't like you anymore or whatever. We were lovers, but now I don't have to like you.
Yeah.
And he's just like, we still never get to like the point where it's like, and this is what this show did even in the first season. It feels like those scenes that you needed to see to explain what's happening later, you never really see.
Yeah.
You only hear about them like tangentially afterwards. Like, because I don't know if she, like, they make a reference to her like texting him with a bunch of emojis and he didn't know what they mean. Like, giving her shit.
Which I could totally see.
Yeah.
He was like, you sent me a panda bear with a gun with a wrapped present. What does that mean? And I was like, what could that mean?
And then you're like writing it down, trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it's like, it was in my head and I was trying to figure it out and then I just couldn't pay attention to the rest of the scene.
But yeah, it's like, and Ray's like, but when I'm with you, I realize like how much like, I like being with you, but like when I'm away, it's like I'm getting these weird texts and I can't like relate to it.
Yeah,
like that.
And Shoshanna's taking that as an insult.
As an insult, yeah. And it's just one of those things where we never hear about though, like how did he break up with her? Did he say I don't want to see you anymore? Did they have sex more than once?
Yeah.
Did they hook up again? Like all of those questions are never addressed throughout that.
Yeah.
And then she's about to like she can't find her coat or whatever. She's about to walk away. She's about to walk out, and she does it in that classic, you're walking way too slow.
Yeah.
For it to leave.
She wants to leave, but she's waiting for something to happen.
Yeah. And I'm just waiting, like, come on, just let's do it. And,
well, I don't know. I wasn't I kind of figured it was going to happen, but the whole episode I was waiting for Ray to do something.
Yeah.
And then he was just kind of like, okay, I get it. You're pissed at me. Yeah. And didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But then
classic hand grab.
Grabs her arm. Pulls her in close.
Starts
smooching.
Making out with her hardcore.
Hard.
Not even caring that he's spilling his beer.
Yeah, he's got a beer in his hand. He is spilling
it over people's coats. It's
how much beer was in that bottle, dude? It was just so much.
They had a tube on the bottom to have more come out.
Here's a question for you. Given what we know about Shoshanna, with her text messages, her demeanor, etc., would you want to date Shoshanna? Let's say that you're 24 years old.
I don't know if I'd want to date her. Would possibly like hook up with her and like hang out with her and like see.
Yeah.
But like even at this point, even in the show, like I still don't know enough about her. And like I don't know what she's like on a date. I have no concept of like when Ray says like I like when I'm being around you.
Yeah.
She's so weird and awkward at times. I don't see that going away.
Yeah.
When you're just like with her versus her texting you.
Yeah.
But she also seems like a horrible person to have to text with. Regardless of emojis. Like I feel like you would get some really cryptic, overthought out text messages.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is like I think that we're not supposed to like Ray for this, but
we're not supposed to like Ray.
But
we're not.
I see where he's coming from.
He's growing on us just because of what they're doing with the show. We're not supposed to like Adam.
Yeah.
I don't think we're supposed to like anybody.
Yeah, I hardly like anybody. Yeah. I mean, Shoshanna is the most likable person, and she's a ditzy kind of meaning well, but like she seemed pretty annoying.
When she's with the group of the girls that you're like, what are they doing? Shoshanna shines.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, okay, yeah, that's the ray of light in this group. And then when she's away from the group, you're like, oh, an isolated situation.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, yeah. You got your own bag of issues and stuff, so.
That's a great point, Vance. Yeah. That is a very good point.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you hit the nail on the head.
That's what I try to do.
I don't hit the nail on the head very often, but that's why you're here.
You're great.
That's why you're here, Vance. You're the Shoshanna to my Jessa.
Yeah. Okay.
When am I moving in?
Well, speaking of moving in, if we talk about move on to Marnie, right? Mm-hmm. Marnie, last time we saw her, moved in with Shoshanna. Mm-hmm. Now we do not get any clarification if she's still living with Shoshanna.
Yeah, no update on that.
No.
We don't know if she's part of the saging process that Shoshanna's doing. She doesn't know if Marnie needs that sage.
Yeah. So the first scene that we see Marnie is that when she's walking down the street.
Walking down the street with some random woman.
That's her boss from the art museum, the art gallery.
Okay.
We've seen her. She was in the scene that had episode that had your favorite line. Remember, she comes out. She's like, "That guy's hot. Hook up with him. That guy's hot. Hook up with him." Yeah. Like,
see, I didn't remember that. That was such like a afterthought. That when she showed up, I was like, "Who the fuck is this lady? Is this a new girl?"
Yeah, it's girls and women,
girls plus one.
So yeah, she's walking down the street, and I will say, her boss is like in her late 40s or whatever, like much older woman.
Yeah,
Marnie looks like she's, which her mom later says, "You look like you're 30."
Yeah.
Like she looks so much older and like. But again, I know that's her character type. It's like she's always just like,
she's wearing. It looks
way
like
too mature. Yeah.
That same purple dress that she wore to that like blacklight party that they were all at.
Yeah, the warehouse party.
Yeah,
where she was just like way too overly adult dressed for it.
Yeah. So she's walking down the street with her. The boss is fucking talking her ear off about some shit.
Yeah.
And she was like, are you feeling good? Are you feeling better? And she's like, yeah, I feel like I'm in a good place. Like things are going well. And then she says something. Or what did she say?
It was something like, she was like, oh yeah, and I thought like this would be great because I thought you would take it wrong. Take the downsizing hard.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my God.
She was like, wait,
we were
what?
just having a great conversation and went on at the restaurant, and I really just took you out so I could like tell you
that I'm letting you go. We're
downsizing.
Yeah. And then Marnie goes, are you firing me? She goes, no. I'm not firing you. We're downsizing. It's different.
I run an art gallery. I can't have 2 employees.
Yeah. And she's like, wait, you're going to keep Julian, who is the guy that she works with, you're going to keep Julian on? He spilled a yoo-hoo on one of your prints. And then we get the reveal that the boss has been fucking Julian. Yeah. And she can't fire him because she'll get sued.
He might sue her, so she can't fire him.
So Marnie's out. Marnie's
lost
unemployed fucking loser now.
Marnie's lost her apparently high-paying 2-employee art gallery job.
Yeah,
where she was able to afford a 2-bedroom apartment,
pay for Hannah's bills and everything.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Marnie's life is on the downslide. She just lost her job.
Yeah. So then the next time we see Marnie, she's at lunch or dinner with her mother.
Lunch. Yeah.
And her mom's just trashing her look.
Yeah.
Her mom is like, you look so old.
Yeah.
You look like you're 30.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I'm having a tough time. I lost my job and I just went through a breakup. She's like, oh, you kids look fucking like Macy's Day balloons. You got these giant heads and these tiny, skinny little bodies. Yeah. But then she's also like saying that she needs to lose weight or something too.
Well, the thing that got me in this scene is that Marnie throws a dig out at Hannah for no reason, unprompted. Like when her mom's talking about her being thin or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, I'm depressed. I'm not gonna. What I'm gonna
order
something like
pizzas.
Hannah and order like 6 pizzas." And I'm like, "Dude, Hannah's not even around."
I know,
and you're still bashing her.
How much does your mom know about Hannah? You know,
I mean, that seemed like they've been friends forever, so like the mom knows Hannah, but like, why are you referencing Hannah in this situation?
I know.
Like every time she talks about Hannah in a scene where Hannah's not there, it is never positive.
It's trash city, dude. She is trashing her best friend, man.
And like, we talked about this last episode about like, guys, do we like talk about our friends about like when they're not around like that? I feel like we do, but I don't feel like. I feel like this is like so. Every time she does it, seems so personal of an attack. Like,
yeah, it's really like she doesn't like her.
Yeah, like you're not saying anything good. Like that's so out of the blue. Like Hannah has nothing to do with this situation.
Yeah.
Like you didn't say, "Oh, I left my old apartment and my old roommate," and then like it was like, "No, I'm not gonna be fat like Hannah."
Yeah,
like jeez,
it was like brutal. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and her mom is still, like, kind of trashing her lifestyle, and then she reveals that she's fucking a cater waiter or something.
Yeah.
And then she does this line about, like, I feel like I can't share this stuff with you because you always talk down to me. And Marnie's like, I talk worse to my friends than this. She doesn't want to hear about her mom fucking a cater waiter.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I feel like I can't be your friend. I hate that shit.
You shouldn't be her friend.
Your mom can't be your friend.
Yeah. You
That's
can be
so
friendly
weird.
with your parents, but your parents can't be your friend.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
And that's not their role. That's not their job. Like, yeah.
If you're friends with your parents, that means that, like, you don't really respect their authority, I feel like.
I feel like there should be a line of delineation where, like, there's certain things you just don't talk to parents about.
Yeah.
It's like that thing that parents don't want to know. Like, if your kid is in high school and they're drinking, and, like, you are okay with them drinking, you still want them to have to keep it a secret from you, as opposed to just blatantly cracking open a beer at dinner with you.
Yeah.
And you're just like, whoa.
It's like a don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah, I know when you go out with your friends, you're probably having some beers in high school, but, like, I don't need you brandishing them in my face. Like, that's that thing. Like,
well, that was like in the movie Mean Girls, where, like, Amy Poehler was like, I'm not a regular mom, I'm a cool mom. It's like, no, you're a bad mom. You know?
Exactly.
She's like letting her kids drink
and, like, they're too like, I feel like the mom in this situation really wants a girlfriend, a young hip girlfriend.
Yeah,
that's what she wants from her daughter.
Yeah. Also, for her trashing Marnie as much as she is, she doesn't look that good.
And she's and this is played by, I think this is Rita Wilson. Tom Hanks's wife is playing the role of Marnie's.
Oh, really?
Brother.
I don't know. She's not listed on here.
Well, I didn't even make the cut.
Nope. I mean, it was just like a throwaway line.
I mean, she was a scene, and who knows if she comes back. This is the first time we've met Marnie's mom.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we've had a glimpse of any of Marnie's life outside of the apartment
Hannah
and Charlie.
Yeah.
But let's move on.
Yeah, so now we're at the party with Marnie.
I was actually kind of surprised Marnie was invited to this party. Because at this point, we still haven't... Yeah. I guess they went to the wedding immediately after moving out.
Yeah.
And they all hung out at the wedding.
Well, they had like kind of a really explosive friendship breakup.
Yeah.
And now...
Like, and an explosive one where, like, you can get into a yelling match with your friend and, like, blow up, and then it cools off and, like, a little bit later, but not to the point where it blows up and you do follow through with the move out.
Yeah. Hold on. Do you have a best friend?
Yeah.
Have you ever had, like, an explosive yelling thing with him?
No, not really. But I did have explosive yelling thing with a roommate of mine when I was living in Winfrick. Like, we had a night, and, like, I forget what the argument was about, but, like, we were yelling at each other back and forth. Next day, we ordered breakfast burritos and, like, watched, like, Little Miss Sunshine or something, and, like, it just all blew over. But it wasn't one of those ones where I'm like, that's it, I'm moving out. Screw you. And then I moved out.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I'm like, hey, are we cool?
Yeah.
Like, because that's what happens here.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I think I've only had one really explosive kind of like yelling thing with a Tiff. Tiff, my best friend / roommate. Check him out on Spotify. He's putting out stand-up and shit.
And you can hear him sometimes walking through the pod every now and then.
You can hear him walk through the pod, turn on the sink and shit. I think we've only really had like one, but you know, it was whatever. That was like fucking 10 years ago.
Yeah, but like the thing is, like, if you had that and like he's moved out, would you be shocked if you guys didn't get along the next time you saw each other, or like, you know what I mean? Like it kind of has to, like, we never had the resolution of them blowing up at each other. Yeah.
Do you think that the guys are just different about this than women?
No, I think women can bounce back from this too. I'm just saying the way the show has done it is that, like, you could cool off the next day.
Yeah.
Marnie moved out with a month of rent paid.
Yeah.
Like, that's how much she wanted to get away from Hannah. Like, that's a lot. That's like boiling point. Like, no.
Yeah, like, I don't care. I will pay whatever.
Yeah.
Just let me out.
She's literally paying to get out of the friendship.
All right, so she's at the party, and
yeah,
dude, can I just say, I think the first thing that I see of Marnie, the first thing that I have written down of Marnie at the party is Charlie is waiting by the bathroom because Audrey's peeing, and my God, Charlie looks hot as fuck in this.
That's the first thing you wrote about Marnie.
The first thing I wrote about Marnie at the party is Charlie looks good, waiting for Audrey to pee.
Well, Charlie has his beard now.
He's got a little
beard.
stubble. He's got his hair's growing out.
His hair's growing back because he shaved it last season to support a coworker that had cancer, and so now he's above the buzz cut, so it's got a little style to it.
Dude, it looks so good, man.
Yeah, he looks like a whole different person.
Well, he did have a turtleneck on, which was a little whack, but it fit him. He looked good.
No, he looks fine. But I will say this: like the pilot of the first season, Charlie and his bathroom stuff, man.
Yeah, right.
What is up in the pilot episode? He burst into the bathroom at 2 separate times.
Yeah, and this one he's like waiting by the bathroom because Audrey's peeing, and Marnie's like, "Are you waiting for her to pee?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, she doesn't really know anybody here, so she asked me to kind of wait for her, and so and then Marnie's like, "You've always been such a sweet date." Then door swings open. Audrey's like, "Why are you waiting here?"
I told you didn't have to wait.
I told you didn't have to wait. He was like, "Well, you don't know anybody. I didn't want you to." She's like, "The apartment's like 10 feet long. I could find you."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Whoa, Charlie,
trouble in paradise." And to me, this is a Charlie thing.
Yeah.
Charlie, when he gets in these relationships, he gets super clingy.
Yeah.
And my God, waiting, like he's just waiting.
Yeah, like a puppy dog.
Yeah, and like Ray's there at the party. You can just mingle, go get some snacks. They got snacks and platters everywhere, and get a drink. Like, she's going to the bathroom, man. Chill out.
Yeah, dude.
And like, this is one where I'm like, oh, now I remember the things I don't like about Charlie.
Yeah. That first episode, we hated Charlie.
I mean, he goes into the bathroom.
Yeah,
he goes into the bathroom when Hannah and Marnie are in there, and then later he goes in when Marnie's there with Jessa. And it's just like, why do you keep popping in the bathrooms? But yeah, that's a Charlie thing that we got to see how this continues.
Yeah, we got to see how that plays out. Fucking fridge magnet gate is over. New thing is Charlie and his bathroom stuff.
Yeah.
What's the deal?
He doesn't go to the bathroom, but he goes to the bathroom.
You think he's like a voyeur? Like he loves watching women pee?
He's just like listening. He's the complete opposite of Thomas John, who was DJing just so you didn't hear people pee. That's what Marnie loved about him. She's like, yeah, he respects my privacy in the bathroom. That's why
this is the opposite of Charlie. That's why I want to hook up with him. He doesn't listen to me pee.
And Charlie turns off the TV and puts the cup up again.
Were you gonna go pee? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Mute. So then the next thing with Marnie is she's in the bedroom with Hannah, who is changing out of her god-awful dress, thank God. Dude, that...
I can't... It's one of those ones with the white collars and the dress that comes...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that dress, looking at her in that dress was worse than watching her eat those noodles.
Really? Really? The dress was worse than the noodles for you?
I hate that dress, dude. It's so bad.
Did you feel
so bad?
Did you feel relief when she herself hated the dress?
I did.
Yeah.
When I don't know if you heard me, but when we were watching it, and she was like, "I feel like I gotta change out of this dress." I went, "Thank God." And to her credit, she put on a much better dress.
Yeah.
I like the second dress much better.
Yeah.
So she's changing the dress. Marnie's in there with her, and she's like, "Are we still cool? I feel like we're not as close anymore." And Hannah's like, "Yeah, we're cool. Like, it's fine. You don't live here, but that doesn't mean we're not close."
Yeah.
It's like, obviously we're not as close as we were because you lived with me, but we're still close.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I need you right now because my life fucking sucks right now." And that's when I lost all sympathy for her.
I lost all sympathy for Marnie in this scene, too.
Yeah.
She's like, I lost my job, and I don't have a boyfriend, and, like, I need you, and I feel like I'm losing you, too. And I'm just like, you moved out.
You dumped Charlie.
You've been bashing Hannah, like, anytime you get a chance to talk about her.
You chose to move out.
You chose to move out because you didn't like her. And
you paid an extra month's rent to move out.
Yeah. And I'm just like...
The only thing that she's got going for her, she lost her job. That's the only sympathy point. Yeah. But she's just been such an unlikable asshole recently.
Yeah, she didn't... she wasn't like that sympathetic when like Hannah lost her job.
No.
But I mean, more of that had to do with Hannah losing that job, and Hannah was not going to pay any rent, so that was a problem. But like, yeah, it's just like that's your reasoning why you want to talk. Like, I hate that like Marnie's character always wants to be with somebody because her life sucks, you know?
Yeah.
Like, now she's like, oh, I don't have a boyfriend now, but why? And you have a boyfriend now. I'm jealous of that. Like,
yeah,
that kind of thing. And like, what happens at the end of this episode with her is another one of those where you're just like, come on, Marnie.
Yeah, dude, she's losing
fighting
ground,
Jessa.
dude.
She's fighting Jessa.
Yeah, for the bottom,
worst,
dude.
yeah.
I mean, Jessa's above her in this episode for me. When we get to our
Even with the
likability,
cornrows.
when we get to the likability ratings at the end of this episode.
But then Marnie, so they have that scene, and like Hannah needs to rush out and deal with some stuff.
Yeah, because Elijah's boyfriend's being an asshole, which we'll get to.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll loop Elijah in with the whole Hannah
with the Hannah
storyline.
stuff. Yeah, they're kind of intertwined.
So later, I guess it's later, like the party has died down, and Marnie and Elijah are on the couch together.
Oh, no, you're missing something else.
Am I missing a huge...
You're missing something else.
I'm missing another Charlie.
You're missing Charlie,
I'm missing another Charlie.
and Audrey getting into a little bit of a kerfuffle.
No, when she came out of the bathroom, it was over.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a spat in this scene that we're talking about, and Marnie's like
Audrey.
right there when they're fighting.
Yeah.
And then Audrey's like, that's it, I'm leaving. And then Charlie's kind of trying to follow her out the door, and she just closes the door. And I'm just like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. And then Marnie's kind of looking at him like, Marnie's being such a bitch too here.
Like, she's like,
she's like the devil on the shoulder. Like, she just appears when bad stuff's happening.
She's just like leaning against the wall, looking at him like, yeah, stuff like that just happens.
Tough, huh? Tough. It's like being such an ass, dude.
Yeah, and it's and
then Charlie's like, well, it's that's love, right? It's tough. It's work.
I think he says women, right?
Yeah, he says women, right? And then he does a whole speech about like, it's love, and it's tough. You need to work on it, and blah blah blah. He's talking, and then Marnie just chugs a gigantic glass of wine while he's talking.
Yeah.
And he's like, she has her thoughts, and it's it's not the same every day, and and then Marnie just cuts off. She's like, so like a conversation between two people, right?
Yeah.
I was like, wow, dude.
Which I was fine with, because he was just rambling on nonsensical.
Yeah. She just like put a stop to it.
At one point, she says, I think I could go like 8 months without sex or something.
Yeah.
And I was really waiting for Charlie to be like, yeah, I know.
Like, oh, yeah, me too.
Because they weren't like having sex for who knows how long.
Well, I was waiting for them to just like start violently making out. Like a Shoshanna Ray kind of thing.
Which is, honestly... why would we think that's not going to happen after you tried to have sex with her at the wedding?
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say that maybe Marnie was going to be like, we should go fuck in the bathroom. That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for that callback.
We were all waiting for something that didn't happen.
And then it didn't happen at all. And then the next scene.
Wait, what happened? How does the scene end with Charlie and Marnie? Does he just...
I think it's just her stamping him out, being like, like a conversation between two people.
I thought there was a little more to it, but then, I don't know. But nothing really comes of it.
Well, he basically is like, well, she needs like her 24-hour refresh, and then it'll be fine tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it.
Yeah, nothing really big happens from that. Only thing that happens is we see possibly the last of Audrey that we're going to see.
Yeah. Possibly the last of Charlie.
We're not going to see Charlie anymore?
I don't know.
We see him later.
When? Oh, yeah, in this episode.
This is not the last of Charlie. Possibly the last of Charlie. Until 5 minutes later.
God, I'm dumb.
Hey, I almost skipped over this Charlie scene, so that's why it's two of us. We're gonna have to hire someone else. We're gonna have to hire someone else just to like sit here and be like, guys, you missed everything.
Could you imagine if we tried to do this by ourselves?
It'd be the worst.
That'd be the worst podcast ever. We'd skip so much stuff.
That'll be the bonus material. Me and you will just tackle one episode by ourselves. It'll be the worst.
So bad. So now we get to the scene that you were trying to bring up.
The scene that I was going to skip over Charlie for to get to. The party has died down. No one's there, and we got Elijah on the couch, and Marnie on the couch, and they're doing some karaoke together. They're singing karaoke.
I don't know what song. I forget what song.
I don't remember the song. And he's like, "Oh, your voice is great. You could be a professional singer." She goes, "I know." And he's like, "Jeez."
It's like, well, as long as you know.
Yeah.
Which is a weird callback because he told her the last time they were interacting that her voice was bad and that she only got parts in Rent because she was blowing people or something.
And then he slapped. No, she told him that and he slapped her.
Yeah, he said that her voice wasn't good though. I do remember that. So then she's talking. She's drunk. They're both kind of wasted.
Drunk,
they both had a rough time at this party.
Yeah.
And she says something about like, "Are you gonna be okay with George, who's Elijah's boyfriend?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, it's just like weird. Like it'll be fine." And then she goes, "Wow, I could never be a gay man. All the blowjobs and anal sex, I could never do that." And he's like, he just looks at her and she's like, "What? I've never had anal sex." He's like, "Who cares?"
Yeah, he doesn't really like do anything with that. He just takes that and goes like, "All right."
But then he's like, "I don't know, maybe I'm bisexual because, sometimes I get attracted to women." Yeah. And she's like, "Really? Like when?" And he's like, "Whenever I see Allison Janney on TV." I was like, "What? That's a weird one." And then it was some other person on TV.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Or like when I saw you at the party today."
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, dude.
Like, oh, this is happening." No. I was like, "This is happening, isn't it?"
And then he goes for it. He starts.
Well, then he's like, what does he say? It's something about like, oh, and like you're just like a.
Oh,
you're so because you're hot. Like
you're a hot bitch. That's
you're
why
like you're hot. That's why you're such a bitch.
Yeah.
And she's like, what?
He goes, "You're a bitch."
She's like, don't come in, bitch.
And then he goes for it.
Yeah.
And then she pushes him away. And then he goes for it again, and now we're getting into some dicey territory because he keeps forcing himself on her, and she keeps saying no.
She keeps on that, like, pushing off, and then feeling his peck, like, oh, that's hard.
Yeah, she's like, wow, that's so hard.
Yeah, and then, like, kissing him, pushing off, like, no, kiss me. Like, she pushes away and says, kiss me.
Yeah.
And, like, so they're having this, it's this weird and awkward
like, her whole thing in this scene is kind of like, fuck it, because... She
2 episodes ago she was making out with Jessa, like and I wasn't even sure why.
One episode ago she was making out with Bobby Moynihan.
Yeah, and Bobby Moynihan makes no appearance.
Yeah, what happened with Bobby?
Bobby should have showed up and livened that party up, put him on the karaoke
he would have
mics.
been fucking crushing with his stupid pastor jokes or whatever he was.
I want him to just be thrown into any random awkward scene.
Yes,
and just try to liven it up.
But so he starts to try and take her shirt off. She's like, no. And then he's like, come on. And she's like, all right, fuck it. Yeah. And then they start to
this is all done in like one shot on the couch, a wide 2 shot in the couch.
Yeah.
And
also, don't see her boobs. She takes off her bra, takes off her shirt. And
for HBO, she is conveniently...
Oh, she's got mermaid hair covering the boobs.
Yeah, like... And
then she like arm covers her boobs. And you can, like, what... Not to be like that typical guy, but like I wonder what that's all about.
Well, I mean, you just have to have it in your contract if you're going to do it or not.
Yeah.
She didn't want to do it.
So then he's like, you want to have sex? And she's like, okay, but get a condom. And he's like, he looks at her like, really? And then she's like, whatever, fuck it. Don't use the condom.
This just hit me. This is really reminiscent of the couch scene with Adam and Hannah from the pilot.
That's true. Oh, but also, hold on. Elijah just gave Marnie HPV.
Oh, yeah, yes. Well, no, but because you can get it even with the condom. Like, we did not research it after watching that episode, but he did put a condom on.
Did he?
Yeah, he goes over just while.
Oh, right, he does. Yeah. He does.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it was a weird pause when she's like, "Get a condom." He's like. And I was like, is he going to make some excuse that being gay, you don't need a condom when you're having heterosexual sex? Like, I didn't understand what, like, that pause was when she said it. But the condom thing in the couch reminded me of that, the first scene with...
with Hannah and Adam. Yeah. So then he gets a condom, I guess. I don't know. I don't remember that part.
Yeah, he gets the condom.
I'll take your word for it. Yeah. They start... he does, like, 3 pumps into her. And then they're like kissing, and then he's like, "Wait,
I was surprised he was already ready to put condom on and go." And like I didn't, because they had been making out for like 2 seconds. I didn't think he was full mass and ready to go at that point yet. Anyway, he puts on the condom. They start to go at it.
Then he goes, "Hang on a second. because he's not hard.
Yeah. And I'm just like, yeah, because you're gay.
Yeah. And then he's like, well, and then Marnie rolls her eyes, I guess. And then Elijah goes, how am I supposed to get hard when you're rolling your eyes at me? And she's like, I didn't roll my eyes. I just looked up. And he's like, you rolled your eyes right in my face. Yeah. And then she like pushes him off. And
he gets off of her.
Yeah.
Like, he gets off of her. He goes to his like side of the couch.
Yeah.
And she gets up.
She starts
and like, it's the most like he does like a pillow over his crotch, but she does like the like turn of like, I know where the camera is. And I'm not showing my boob turn. Not like I don't want him to see it. And she puts her dress back on.
Yeah. And then she turns to him and says, stop, don't try to pretend to be something you're not. And then he says, same to you or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, boom. And he's
like,
fucking
But
brutal.
at that point, what is she trying to pretend to be?
I don't know. I don't know what she was trying to pretend to be.
I've been so confused since she kissed Jessa what she's trying to do.
I don't know. She's lost, dude.
Yeah.
She's a lost soul without Charlie.
And which brings us to Charlie.
She shows up at Charlie's apartment for the second time ever. Yeah. She goes, look, I'm not here to cause any trouble. I just need to sleep next to someone
And they film it with her, like, obviously you know who she's talking to.
Yeah.
But it's filmed where she's just standing in a doorway. You don't see the person she's talking to. I
knew that you were hoping for Adam. It would have made
no sense, but I was hoping for Adam. Because once Elijah started hooking out with her, I was like, oh no. We thought Hannah was going to walk in and see it. And
that's what I thought. And Hannah was going to be pissed.
Hannah does not see this at all.
Yeah.
And Hannah does not seem like she has like romantic feelings for Elijah anymore either.
I wonder what's going to happen, because you know that Elijah's going to tell her or Marnie's going to tell her, and I want to know what her reaction is going to be.
I don't think it's going to be anything now.
I don't know, man.
I don't think her and Elijah seem like they're having fun being roommates. And
they're the best of friends.
Yeah.
So Marnie shows up. She's at Charlie's apartment, and she's like, I just want to sleep next to somebody tonight. And Charlie's like...
She's like, I know you have a girlfriend, but I just want to sleep next to someone tonight.
He's like, all right, come on in his amazing apartment that he built.
Yeah. His little, small, but very compartmentalized apartment. And
that wraps up Marnie.
And she hops on the bed and like she just cuddles up, you know.
Yep.
And then that's the end of that scene. And I will say this: I wasn't a fan of Marnie just like going to Charlie and Charlie letting that back in. Even though it's like that was always going to be a on again, off again thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like.
Charlie's such a weak-willed worm, dude.
Yeah.
He's a worm.
Like, she broke up with you after coming to your place for the first time, luring you back, middle of sex, and broke up with you.
I know. He has.
You've read the thoughts in the journal. Like, you have to.
He's a worm, dude.
And Marnie's redeeming qualities outside of her looks in this show are not, like...
Yeah.
He seemed like he was having a lot more fun with. He was having a lot more fun with Audrey, but then they made Audrey's a horrible person now.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
It's those rom-com things. Like if you're looking at Wedding Crashers or whatever, and you're like, oh man, Owen Wilson really does deserve to be with that girl, only because Bradley Cooper's character is such a monster. Yeah. If he was super nice, Owen Wilson is the bad guy.
Yeah, yeah.
He's creeping on some guy's
He's a
Fiancé.
homewrecker.
Yeah.
He's not just a wedding crasher. He's a relationship crasher.
But you can root for it if Bradley Cooper is such an ass in that movie.
Yeah.
And that's the situation you get with, like, that's the issue that I've had with some of the guy characters in this, too, where, like, all of a sudden Jeff turns into, like, a monster. So you're like, oh, Jessa's not ruining it. Jeff's a monster. And even with Jessa's new husband, he turned into like a ridiculous monster and somehow bounced back to be
a husband.
Oh my God. Next episode is going to be.
Yeah, they better pick up that.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't even want to watch that. If it's just snippets of them having life somewhere, I'll be fine. Like, I don't need to see a full Jessa and that guy.
Everybody who listens to this podcast knows I hate Jessa. But what? They need to address that relationship.
They're going to address it.
I know that they're going to.
I just don't. Yeah. But let's move on to the main
headliner. Hannah.
Lena Dunham as Hannah.
Hannah Horvath. So she and Elijah are living together now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first thing you see. He's got a boner when he's spooning her. He says, don't worry about it. It's not for you. She's like, cool.
She's going to be mad that that's for Marnie for 2 minutes.
For 3 pumps of sex. And, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
So we got that scene. And then you go to a couple other characters. And you go back to Hannah. Hannah's hooking up.
She's riding hard with a new character we have not seen before.
New character we've never seen before. Donald Glover. Out of nowhere.
Donald Glover. I said when we started this podcast, we were gonna see a lot of cameos of people that have gone on to do like things, you know?
So for the sake of just doing this, Donald Glover's character's name is Sandy. But I'm never going to call him Sandy. He's Donald Glover.
Let's just call him Donald Glover.
He's Donald Glover.
Sandy. Sandy with an I-E or Sandy with a Y?
Y.
Huh. Interesting.
He is a black college lawyer, according to Wikipedia.
Black college
That's what it says.
Lawyer? Like a lawyer for colleges?
It says, Hannah is having a casual relationship with another guy, comma, a black college lawyer named Sandy.
Does that mean he's in college going to law school? What is a black college lawyer?
I have no clue.
See, this is where Wikipedia fails you.
Yeah, it's not that great.
And none of this comes across at all during this episode.
I have no idea.
So, so we just see her riding him, and we're like...
She, you know how like guys are like, yeah, I fucked her? She fucked him, dude. Yeah. She was fucking Donald Glover, dude.
And, so that's happening. And then later there, do we see, is it with Adam after, or is it her and Donald in a bookstore?
It's her and Donald in a bookstore.
Yeah, and that bookstore is the one on Bedford, the Spoonbill. I bought a couple books from there before.
Wow, okay, we get it. You read. Sorry, I just podcast.
Bragging. I know those locations. That bookstore's still there though. That's interesting. Yeah.
So they're running around this bookstore, and then he says, I love the weird something about you.
Yeah.
And she said, don't say love to me. And he was like, what? She's like, my last couple of relationships have been very weird, and they've been very possessive. I'm trying to do things differently, so don't say love to me. Yeah. And then Donald Glover's like, okay, it's just like hard to keep track of all your weird rules. And that's when...
because in the last episode, that was when Adam told her that he loved her.
Yeah.
So
he's been dropping the L word hard on her.
Yeah.
He keeps saying it, dude.
So yeah, so after that scene, we end up seeing her with Adam.
Yep.
Yeah.
Adam has a gigantic leg cast because he broke his leg because he got hit by, his words, truck, our reality car.
Yeah.
Was it a truck?
No, it was a truck. It was a truck that came by. A truck came by the first time.
I think it was like a garbage truck the first time.
It was like one of those like comically big cars. It'd be like, oh, if he gets hit by that, he's done. And then the second time, I thought he got sideswiped by like a black car, maybe van.
In my head, it's a maroon like panel van.
Okay, fine.
I don't know.
It was at night, and you're gonna call it maroon. Maroon would probably.
I don't know. You can tell colors at night. Get out of here, Vance. Whatever. He got hit by...
It was midnight still.
Here we go. Let's agree. He got hit by an automobile.
Yeah. We're going to have one of those big fights right now. He got
hit by a vehicle.
This is going to be the breaking point.
He has a giant cast on his leg. Hannah's taking care of him.
I mean, he's got a cast all the way up to mid-thigh.
Yeah, like, and he looks absolutely miserable.
And it's only on one leg. Mm-hmm. And as someone who's had a cast up above their knee, like before, you can still get around.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he looks... But he's got it where he looks like
bedridden.
Yeah. Like to a point where he has a bedpan.
Yeah.
He's been peeing in a pot.
Yeah. Get the pot.
You can get up and go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I don't know if people know this, but guys stand to pee usually. But we can also sit to pee.
Yeah, dude, I've been sitting to pee a lot recently. It's nice. Oh, God, there's a helicopter flying around outside if you hear that.
They're coming for you after
They're coming for me. They're like, this motherfucker's sitting down to pee. Take his man card.
Take his man card. Revoked.
You can be a fucking lady if you're going to sit down to pee, Joe.
And I was like... So, like, and Hannah's been feeling guilty. I think she tells us Donald Glover's character that she feels guilty about what happened to Adam. So she's really been helping him out and, like, nursing him back to health for...
Yeah. But this is the scene that we have the reveal that they have broken up. They're not together anymore.
They're not officially together anymore.
But Adam still wants her around because he loves her, as he repeatedly says, and she is the main hang. And he's like, look, I get because, just because you don't want to be with me or whatever, just because we're not together, doesn't mean that I don't want you around. You're the main hang, like blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And she's taking care of him, which is, I don't know. It's weird.
He's like, he's like, just because when you love someone, you don't have to, she's like, you've been mean to me like all the time. It's like when you love someone, you don't have to be nice to them all the time.
Jinx. Miyako. I'm gonna finish this episode. You can't talk until I say your name 3 times, Vance. Shut the fuck up. Vance. I
was like, fine, let's see you do this. Let's see that podcast.
Oh, let's get a preview of the solo boy watching girls.
boy watches girls. No, it's interesting that he said that, and that line of like, when you love someone, you don't have to be nice to them. It has like one of those things where like you can get it. Like for me, I take it a little bit like if you love someone, you can still be angry with them. Yeah, but like that's the way I take it. I'm not saying like, oh, be abusively mean to someone because you can love them. Like don't Thanos, Thanos Gamora on it. Like you know what I mean? Just like don't be like abusive to the person and just excuse your abuse because you love them. Yeah, like. If you love someone, you are able to be upset with them, not like them at certain points. Like, yeah. But
I can't believe I jinxed you and then like took it seriously.
I know you took it way more seriously than I ever would.
There needs to be a video portion because I like pointed in your face. I was like, "Shut the fuck!"
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Like, I have a brother. You have what, a sister? Like, did this happen a lot?
Yeah.
I think me and my brother jinxed each other too much.
I think the main point of this is Adam has a big cast. Hannah's taking care of him. Adam still loves her. Yeah. Agreed?
Yes. Sure. Agreed. We settled that debate.
It's an automobile.
Agreed.
So Hannah and Elijah are having a party. They're having people over. Elijah's happy about the party because he wants to show everybody that George is rich, and he wants to show all of his friends that he has a rich boyfriend who...
And they're getting this party set up, and they're planning to have more like different themed parties and like stuff that it seems like Marnie would like overly stress out about having people over and like, oh my god, this thing has to be perfect. Like, Elijah seems like he's going to be... They're kind of reverting back to that like college post, like very early, like what they should be like when you're in your early 20s. And you're just like, let's just hang out. Like, like a Thursday and a Tuesday night are like still hangout nights. So it's not like, oh no, we can't do it until the weekend. It's just like any night's a night for people to come over and hang out. Yeah. Like, and I'm like, yeah, dude, that'll be fun.
Yeah, and it seems fun.
Yeah, I want to watch this. Like,
they're having good like back and forth about what kind of parties they're gonna have.
Yeah, they always have a bunch of random other people at the party that we don't know.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's classic sitcom. That's what I wanted TV show stuff
to ask you about. It's like. There was like a guy, he looked like he was probably 45 years old, and he had a beard and really long hair. He looked like kind of like fat Jesus. Yeah. And Hannah's like walking around with a plate of snacks. And I saw that guy in the background. I was like, who is that guy's friend? Yeah. Who invited that guy? Well, I know that he's an extra, and they just need to fill people.
It's like if you ever watch Friends. They have families, but yet they spend every Thanksgiving and Christmas together. But then when they have a big lavish party, there's a bunch of people there that you've never seen. Yeah, dude. And it's just like it's just what you do with these shows. Yeah, like because in reality, this party would be 6 or 7 people every time. Yep. But yeah.
Yeah, I have party where we have people over our apartment for like UFC and sometimes like WrestleMania and shit, and it's like 7 people max, and everybody knows each other. Yeah.
But you're not throwing a crazy theme party.
Oh, no, I'm not having a, French salon party?
Yeah, French salon. It's like, I watched Midnight in Paris, and I feel like I could do that.
Yeah. I have written down...
But I'm liking the vibe. I'm liking the vibe of Elijah and Hannah.
Yeah, they're having a good... They're great roommates.
Their vibe is better than the Marnie Hannah when it started, where you were like, oh my god, they just keep complaining about each other's things. Yeah. Like...
Can I just say I have a bullet point written here? All it says, awful dress.
Well, she gets out of that dress pretty soon, though.
Yeah, that dress was just so awful. Look, I'm not like a fashion. I'm a bit of a fashionista. Yeah. Like, I'm a hype beast. I got a bunch of shoes. I take style kind of seriously. Her dress was an affront. It is just so...
I've seen people in dresses like that.
I have, and I've never liked them.
Yeah. It's very old-timey. It's a very... I don't know what century it's from, but it's definitely a...
I used to work with this girl at a website. Her name was Heather. I don't care. I'm naming names.
Wow.
She's not going to listen to this. And if she does, fuck her.
Wow. Heather's been put on blast right now.
Heather, guess what? You wore a dress like Hannah wore in this episode, and I fucking hate it. I hate that dress. That dresses like that, and people that wear dresses like that can fuck off.
There's not enough noodles in the world for you to slurp that Jill would not notice that dress.
Dude, that again, I prefer the noodle slurping. Yo, I'm having a fucking aneurysm.
Let's move on. We've talked about this dress.
All right, so we're at the party. Elijah's boyfriend starts freaking the fuck out at the party. He's drunk.
He's not freaking out.
He's not freaking out. Initially, he's just wants to sing a song with Elijah.
It's been established that it's karaoke. He's drunk. He's got 2 mics. He's like, "Hey, Elijah, get over here." Because is he talking to Marnie? Is he talking to Marnie, or who's he talking to?
He's talking to some random black extra lady.
Okay.
She could be a black college lawyer. I don't know.
That's what they all are. There's so many black college lawyers.
But no, it's a lady that he's talking to.
Yeah, he's talking about something, and like his George,
Elijah's boyfriend.
Elijah's boyfriend, who's like in his 40s at least or something, is like, "Hey, come over. I want to sing a song with you." He's like, "Oh no, he's drunk." He's like, "You're drunk." He's like, "I'll alert the media."
Yeah. You're drunk. I will alert the media.
And I'm like, dude is drunk and wants to do karaoke. I don't personally like doing karaoke, and that's not my thing, but I know people do karaoke when they're drunk.
Yeah.
That's the time to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how is he too drunk to sing karaoke at this house party?
I know.
He's like, and Elijah's like, "Oh, please stop. No, you're embarrassing me. You're embarrassing yourself." And it's like, what?
Yeah.
And then we get the like...
He starts freaking out, being like, "You know what? Fuck you, Elijah, you stuck up."
You know what? And then, because I'm the old guy, fuck this whole generation.
Yep.
I was doing blow off of Twinks and you guys are just too stuck up to even sing a song. I was like, oh, every old person in this show has to like give straight up commentary on, like, it was like what Thomas John?
Chris O'Dowd?
Yeah. It was like what he did in his scene when he freaked out. He started ripping apart like millennials and not having to work for stuff. And it's like, if you are...
Did Jeff do that too? The babysitter guy?
He called her a tease.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he related it to her age and her like...
Well, he related it to his age because he was like, "Oh, I'm the old guy that brought wine to a warehouse party."
But if that happened, they all just flip out. And I'm sure people did, but I was like, this one, I was like, come on, I don't need this guy to do it. Because all he's trying to do is sing karaoke with his boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know why Elijah was so opposed to it.
It was just so we could force that and have the Marnie thing come up later.
I guess so.
But yeah, and then so Hannah, when she's in with Marnie, Elijah walks in and he's like, "I need your help with a problem. We have a real situation out here." She's like, "I have to go help Adam," and she's like, "No, if you do this for me, you can talk about Adam as much as you want." She's like, "I don't talk about him that much." And
he's like, "Yeah, you talk about him all the fucking time."
Like, "No, I don't." And like,
so then she walks him out. This is like my favorite scene in this show.
So we just see her walking with George.
She walks him out of the apartment building.
Out of the building. They're on the sidewalk. He's walking. And he's like, "You're nicer than these other people," or whatever.
So I don't care what everybody says about you. You're sweet and you're nicer than everybody else that was at that party. And your generation stinks. But you're not. You're sweet. You're a sweet girl.
Yeah.
And then
she says, "Sorry."
She goes, "I'm so sorry, George." And then she fucking basically...
I don't know if she runs like this in real life, but it's funny.
Dude, her run is atrocious. She runs away, runs back into her apartment because she's bailing on George.
And like it's
literally
so fucking funny. Literally like maybe 30 feet away. Yeah. And it seems like it takes her forever. And George is just like watching, like so confused. He's like, oh, did you forget something in the apartment?
He said, did you forget your purse or wallet or something?
But we watch her run back, and the way she runs is so funny.
Her arms are flailing. Yeah. Her legs are flailing.
Everything's going in opposite directions. Yeah. And I don't know if this is her just doing it for comedic purposes, because if it is,
spot
genius.
On. So funny.
And she just runs back in. It's great.
So then she's sitting there waiting in the, like, I guess, what do you call that area?
The foyer.
The foyer?
The foyer? Wait, what is it called in an apartment building?
The vestibule?
Yeah. Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah. Whatever.
Whatever. She's George is banging on the door. Yeah. She's looking at him like, I'm sorry, George, I can't let you in. It'll be much better if you just go home. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about this in the morning. It'll be better. And he's like, you're not sweet like everybody says. You're a cunt. Yeah. Like Elijah said.
Like Elijah says, yeah.
And I was like, damn. Dropping a hard C.
Yeah, she does not take that to heart, does not care.
No, she's just like, whatever, he's drunk. Yeah. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. So he walks off.
He walks off.
And then she sneaks out after. And we were like, why is she waiting down there, not going back to the party? And it was like, oh, she's got to go to Adam's place.
She's going to Adam's place to deliver his meds.
Yeah.
So that she does that, she throws his meds, a magazine, a granola bar, and something else.
Yeah,
but
he's on the couch watching TV with his
He's watching TV. He's got his cast on. He's got a stick under his cast because his leg itches.
He's scratching his leg with the...
That has to be so annoying and terrible if you got a cast on.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah. So she's trying to leave, and he's like, wait, don't you want to watch Bagger Vance?
Yeah. She's like, no.
Bagger Vance? Vance, my co-host?
Your name is Joe. I could do it like with anything.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Horatio Sands was named Joe.
And I thought he was someone else.
Yeah, you thought he was Bobby Moynihan. And then she's like, no, I got to get back to the party. He's like, do you want to watch the extras of Bagger Vance?
Yeah.
It's like, who the fuck would ever want to watch that?
I do love that as like a random throwaway.
And she's like, no, I really got to get back to the party. Elijah's kind of freaking out, and there's some drama going on. And then what's the third thing that he asks if she wants to watch?
I forget the third thing, but he asks another thing, and that's when she's like,
no,
I want to leave. I'm done. Like, we're not together anymore.
And then he stands up and he's like, well, fuck that. I miss you and I love you. And why don't you love me anymore? Because a month ago you were lying in bed with me and you said that...
If I broke up with you, don't let me.
Yeah, if I was trying to break up with you, I shouldn't, and I made your whole body feel like a clit. And she's like, I never said that. And then it's like, yes, you did. And he screams out the window, yes, you did.
It's so funny. And like he's standing up because he's like limping on his one leg and like.
So basically, he just wants an explanation of like how she could have been so into her.
Well, he's opened himself up, and like she said, "I don't want to be with you," and he's like, "You're the best thing in my life. I'd die without you."
Yeah,
and like she has worn him down. Yeah, that's the thing. She came in, she kept coming in, she kept being like, "I want to get further. I want to know more about you," and she wore him down. He opened up.
Yeah,
he's completely exposed.
And then
now she's like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah.
And it's just...
He just basically wants an explanation.
And she has it... And it's weird how she has this anger of like, I don't want to be with you anymore. Like he did something different than what he's always been doing.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't a turning point, like, other than him saying, oh, I love you and I want to move in. And that's the thing.
To her credit, she is like, I'm a person. I'm allowed to have these feelings.
Yep.
Totally true.
Yeah. And he doesn't think, oh, you can't change your opinion. And she's like, yeah, you can. Like, yeah.
And then she leaves.
Yeah, and it was just like one of those things where it's like her anxiety for it, because it's like it's been a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. So the last thing that we've seen with them,
according to Wikipedia, several weeks.
It's been several weeks, and we don't know how long she's been dating this black college lawyer. But she, like, so the last thing we saw, he got hit by a car. She didn't want him to move in because she was nervous about that. she still seemed like she was into Adam and was hurt when he called her a monster and threw her off. So we would think almost more that Adam didn't want to be with her and that she would be chasing after him again. Yeah. But that's not the case.
No.
Somehow she's already moved on. Nope. She got a new roommate. She's got a whole new leash on life.
She got a new life, and Adam is holding her back.
She's throwing parties so good that she can leave a party.
And then come back to the party.
And then the party's not actually happening anymore.
Not happening. You just see naked Andrew Reynolds with his limp dick.
And Marnie being like, where's Charlie?
But instead of going back to the party, where does she go? She goes to the black college lawyer, black college lawyer, Sandy's house. She goes, hey, can I borrow the fountainhead? It's probably like 2 a.m. He's like, okay, whatever. Yeah. She comes into his apartment. He walks off to go get the fountainhead. He said it's at his library. Yeah. Because he's a black college lawyer. They all have libraries.
You have to have a library. And you definitely keep the fountainhead in your library.
And while he's getting the fountainhead, Hannah takes off her dress, takes off her bra, doesn't take off her panties.
No, he's got to leave something for him to do.
Yeah. And then just lays on his bed and butt. That's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
I don't know why I started doing this. Butt up. I did it earlier. What's going on?
It is not a comic beat that it ends on.
No.
She just sits on the bed and leans back, and it's like, all right.
That's it.
So so it's kind of, and it's one of those ones where when she leaves Adam, she says, I don't want to see you ever again. And it seems like finite.
And then Adam turns to go back onto his couch. He bends forward to put his broken leg backwards, and he just hops to his couch.
The comedic timing of it is perfect.
It's so
And he's making it so labored that he has his 1 foot in the cast. You can still get around.
Yeah. We forgot to talk about how he was peeing in a pot and he peed all over his own apartment.
Well, when she came over the first time, he's like, I guess she stayed over and slept in, and then she's leaving, and he's like, I gotta pee. And she's like, do you need me to help you? And he goes, pot.
Yeah.
And she brings over just a regular cooking pot. It looks like a pan, and he like leans over to the edge of the bed, and he's like peeing in it while she's holding it.
Yeah, and she's like, are you okay? He's like, no, everything on my body hurts. Yeah. And then I think that she's trying to tell him about the black college lawyer.
She's trying to be like, I'm done with you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's what she's trying to do.
She's trying to be like, I want to talk
about something. And he's like, oh, I'm hurting.
So.
And so she's like, no, I don't have anything to talk about. Like, she wants to have a conversation to officially break him up.
Yeah.
But he is just like not ready to have that.
Yeah.
And then he's peeing in the pot, and I'm just like, oh, this guy peed on her in the shower not too long ago. And he's like, oh, I missed.
Yeah. She's like, I noticed.
And it's just like, dude, get up and go to the bathroom.
Yeah, right?
God. Yeah. But it's I don't even know if that's fun. It's not as funny, but.
All right. So that's the episode.
But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot happening in this one.
Yeah,
it was a lot.
Thoughts.
What should we rank? Should we rank our girls in this ranking? One?
All right, I'll go first.
Okay.
Shoshanna, number 1. Duh.
Okay.
Jessa, number 2.
Yeah.
Hannah, number 3. Marnie, number 4.
Yeah.
Marnie's a basement dweller.
Marnie just dropping down. Yeah.
Fall from grace.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't argue with that one. Like, if you wanted to bump Jessa up to the top, you could, but the cornrows and stealing a cab and
bad shit,
being married to that guy, all 3 strikes.
Marnie is spiraling, though. She's spiraling, dude.
I don't know what. I'm still confused as to what when she said don't to Elijah, you don't have to pretend to be something you're not. I got that. Don't pretend to be bisexual just because you think, oh well, maybe I can just do this, or just if you're gonna be gay, be gay. If you're gonna be bisexual, but don't try to, do whatever you like, whatever you feel that you are.
Yeah.
But I don't know what Marnie's pretending to be that he says the same thing to her. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the reveal is gonna be there.
Like, what is she pretending to be? Like, lonely and going to sleep with a guy that just kissed her? Because he kissed her. It wasn't her kissing him.
Yeah, I don't know what that meant.
Yeah. It just seems like a line that you say back, but then when you think about it, you're like, what the fuck did that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what Marnie does for work. because we never really saw her work the last time.
Yeah, I want to see Julian. Julian and the boss fucking.
Which one's Julian? Oh, the guy who
that can't get fired. He's untouchable.
The boss seems like a woman out of Sex and the City. Like she seems like she came straight out of Sex and the City.
Yeah,
because like she's been on screen like twice, and it's been nothing but like,
hey, he's hot. Fuck that guy. I'm fucking this guy. Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good. I think it's a good episode, and I think it
sets up a lot.
And I know we said this a bunch. A lot of shows set up a lot, but who knows how much stuff we'll skip over.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe we'll get some answers in season 2, episode 2. You know what the title of this episode is?
I'm not even gonna guess.
It's called "I Get Ideas." All right. I want to give you a sneak preview here. I see, because it's on the same line as the title.
All right, this is a first for this. We're giving a little more.
This is a steep drop off in viewers.
Well, we got to save that for save the viewer account for next. But wow,
that's a little tease for you guys. Tune into the next episode to see how many people watched this episode.
Let's see if we can get more listeners than people that watch this episode. So what do we? So what's the thing that you were going to tease? Was that it?
That was
you were
it.
Going to tease the numbers?
I was teasing.
I thought you were going to tease the plot.
Oh no.
Okay.
No.
All right.
But yeah, stay tuned for next episode. I Get Ideas, and yeah, next time, guys. See ya.